What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So over the past week or so, I have revealed two new pyramids, that of course being McDavid Mountain, of all the best centers in the NHL, as well as Makar Mountain, which is the best defenseman in the entire NHL. And a lot of you guys were asking for a goalie version of this, whether that be Hellebuck Hill or Shesterkin Summit. I, of course, right now have Shesterkin as my best goaltender in the NHL. Not acting like it's some massive gap like a Connor McDavid, but right now I do think Igor Shesterkin's the best goalie in the NHL. Regular season, probably Hellebuck, but a guy that I would want tomorrow in a winner-take-all game. I'm going with Igor Shesterkin, considering the fact the last 3 years in the playoffs, he's been like above a 925 every single year, and even in the regular season, the dude won the Vezina in 2022 with a 935, one of the best goaltending seasons of the 21st century, and was like a 910-ish guy the prior two seasons. Still was a top 10 goalie in the regular season with those playoff numbers, but we're going to go through it right now. We're going to go through the full pyramid, so let's not waste any time with it. Up first, the decent starter. These guys can play 45, 50 games in a season and provide you capable goaltending. Again, with this list, it's going to be more based on last season than this year, especially with something as erratic as goaltenders. I'm not going to massively overreact to 3 to 4 great games from a guy, but let's go through it. Up first, Joey Daccord. Very good season last year, arguably a top 10 season in the entire NHL from a goaltender. Had a 916, got paid, playing pretty well for the Seattle Kraken. I believe he has like a 907 right now. Do I love the contract considering he's 29 years old and he still doesn't have that long of a track record? Not that much, but right now he has been very good the last year or so. Adin Hill, Stanley Cup winning goaltender, has not really been able to stay healthy a ton in the regular season, but when he is healthy, I think we can agree he's probably a top 13 to 19 goalie in the NHL and has looked very good in the playoffs. Anthony Stolarz. Some people might say this is a bit of an overreaction. I said I wasn't going to overreact to 4 to 5 games, but this guy last year had a 925, was the better per game goaltender than Sergei Bobrovsky. So the fact that now he's doing it in more of an increased role, and even again 3 seasons ago at this point with the Anaheim Ducks, he was a great. So Stolarz, I'm putting him there. Cam Talbot, I don't have Alex Lyon just because Alex Lyon wasn't really that good last year. He has been fantastic to start the season, but I gave Wings fans some respect so they lay off me. Cam Talbot was very good last year for the LA Kings and is still playing very good right now for the Detroit Red Wings to start the season. Stuart Skinner, that might get some hate, but still, I think when you look at this guy's regular season track record past the first month of the season, he has definitely been a decent, capable starter, and he stole some games late in playoff series last year. I think he's a little bit overhated. Again, not saying he's some elite starter, but he's definitely in this tier. Then we got the 2 Washington guys. Logan Thompson, very good in Tampa Bay, looking like he's carrying that over into Washington. And Charlie Lindgren, not a ton of experience, but last year was absolutely money for them when Darcy Kemper kind of shat the bed and helped carry them to the playoffs. Definitely a great tandem in Washington. Freddie Anderson playing great right now. Played great last year when he finally got back from blood clots. You could arguably move him up to elite starter based on what he's done the last 2 seasons. And I believe in 2022, he had a Vezina caliber season. Hasn't played more than like 45 games in a season recently, so I can't quite put him there. Jordan Binnington, 913 last year. Joel Hofer's another guy that I almost put, but he was more of a backup role last year, but he also had a 913. Varley, he's been above a 910 every single year with the New York Islanders, and last year kind of had to assume the role of the starter. Ilya Sorokin kind of lost it, and he played fantastic, got them into the playoffs. Gustafson's playing great this season, was great in 2023, 2024, we maybe don't talk about as much, but he's looking like a decent starter yet again. Montembeau, very, 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 very damn good to start the season. Above average last year. I don't think that he was like amazing by any stretch, but a decent starter at this point. Dostal might be a little bit of an overreaction, but I think that considering the fact he's 23, 24, it's looking like he's taking that next step. Some other guys like a Kevin Lankinen, I'm not sure how legit his actual good starter status or decent starter status is. A guy like Dostal was okay last year on a bad team, and it's looking like he's taking that next step, so I'm throwing him in this tier ahead of maybe some more seasons guys. And then lastly, Jacob Markstrom. I said it when he got traded that he's not this surefire elite starter. When looking at year over year, he is just rapidly inconsistent for the New Jersey Devils. He has not really been that good for the New Jersey Devils early on. I said it before, he was my number 11 goaltender. Him and Jake Ottinger were like 10, 11, and then I thought it kind of went up a tier. Jake Ottinger's been amazing to start the season. Markstrom looks like he's a little bit inconsistent, and he's 34 years old, so I do think that he's a tier below the top 10 guys at this point. Next up, we got very good starters. UC Saros, rough start to this season. Wasn't that good last year. Looks like he's getting back on track. And when you look at this guy from 2021 to 2023, was a no doubt top 3 goalie, and he's still only 29 years old. I think he's going to turn it around. Jake Ottinger's been amazing this season after a bit of a down year last year. Definitely re-earned that title as a very good starter, top 10 no doubt goalie in the NHL. Swayman, not playing too good recently, but when looking at his track record the prior 3 seasons, was above like a 915 every single year. Vasilevsky, this is a tough one. When you look at this season and last season, he's not even a top 20 goalie in the NHL, but you got to respect the track record. I am concerned that he might not ever be the same goalie coming off that serious injury. But still, you got to put him in a very good. He's definitely not in the same tier as Stuart Skinner or other guys at this point. Ullmark looks okay right now in Ottawa. Not amazing. Last night he actually kind of played like shit, but I still think, similarly to Swayman, the numbers that he put up in Boston, and it's not just the Boston Defense Corps. If anything, they carried the Boston Bruins last year. He still deserves the moniker of very good starter. Sergei Bobrovsky, the past 18 months has been one of if not the best goalie in the entire NHL when looking at his playoff numbers. And then last year during the regular season, he had a 918 in like 55 games. This is your very good. This is your 5 through 10 in the entire NHL, because I did clickbait a little bit. It's not, I don't want to put, I kind of clickbaited. I'm sorry if you clicked on this because you thought that there was like a different guys in different tiers, the amount, but in star, I got Ilya Sorokin playing fantastic to start this season. He has a 936, a 2-1-1 record, and his only loss is his team didn't score a single goal for him when looking at it against the Detroit Red Wings and the St. Louis Blues. He's been money. His down year last year was still only a 908, and the prior 2 years had a 925 and a 924. I think he's looking like he's cooking up a Vezina caliber season. And when looking at those prior 3 years, I do think that it looks like he's maybe a tier higher than some other guys. And Thatcher Demko, if he can get back to being healthy, he was pretty easily, no doubt, maybe even would have challenged Hellebuck for the Vezina. No doubt, second best goalie in hockey last season. 2023 was bad, but I think when looking at recently, he was definitely far better last year than everybody in the tier below him. And even in prior seasons, 2021, 2022, had a 915 save percentage and really kept the Canucks afloat as a competent team because he was very solid. And again, he was a highly regarded prospect before that. Thatcher Demko is a top 5 goalie in the NHL. We got the superstar, pretty easily, Connor Hellebuck. The playoff numbers, they aren't quite there. Part of that was because of his defense score last season, but this guy is the most consistent regular season goalie in the NHL. Arguably, it's either him or Vasilevsky. I'd argue Hellebuck just because he's carried more. The best regular season goalie of our generation, probably. It's going to be a damn shame if he never even makes a Stanley Cup final. I feel like he's not going to get the love that he deserves, but he is trying to be a legit top 20, top 15, maybe even top 10 goalie of all time. And to start this season, he's absolutely money as well. If he wins 3 Vezinas, that puts him in absolutely insane rarefied air. He is definitely a tier ahead of guys like Sorokin and Demko. And then lastly, Shesterkin. Not surprising anybody here. It is clearly Shesterkin Summit. He's going to get paid like the highest paid goalie by a metric shit ton. Arguably like $3 to $4 million more he's going to get than a guy like Connor Hellebuck, and rightfully so when you look at how this guy has kind of carried the New York Rangers at playoff time. They don't really produce that much at 5-on-5. He has been able to cover up maybe some of their blemishes, and as a result, I do think that he's worth north of 10, maybe even 11, not quite 12, but he is a legit superstar, best goalie in the NHL right now. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? Let me pull up my honorable mentions. I think I mentioned most of them. But we also got Jonathan Quick, very good backup. Petr Mrazek, you maybe could put him. Dave Riddick was very good last year for the LA Kings, playing solid right now. I said Joel Hofer. I said Lankinen. Dustin Wolf wasn't that good last year, playing amazing right now, but I can't quite throw him on a list like this when you look at the other guys, as well as Connor Ingram. Rough start to the season. Last year was a top 12 goalie in the NHL just solely last season. But based on this rough start, I just barely missed out on him. But you can definitely put him. I have 14 guys in that bottom tier. I can't fit everybody. I'm sorry. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this pyramid tier list? Who would you move up? Who would you move down? Who would you take out? Who would you add? I'm sure some people are going to be screaming about Stuart Skinner. And I will be seeing you in the next one. Also, go Canes today. Beat FSU.